Hello toy fans, today I'm going to be reviewing a game called Relative Insanity. This is a game that was created by Play Monster Toys, but it was actually created by Jeff Foxworthy, who is a very famous American comedian. He was the guy that started the "You Might Be a Redneck" line of jokes. So essentially this game is intended for 4 to 12 players between the ages of 14 to adult. I would definitely keep note of that age range because some of these cards, although very, very funny, do have like sexual, drug references, things like that. So yeah, it's definitely not for younger kids, but for the teenage group or even kids, I think even a 12, 13 is fine too. But no younger than that. But this is a lot of fun. It was actually based off of the game Cards Against Humanity, and anybody that's ever played that game knows that it's very funny, but a lot of the cards on it are very offensive. So Jeff Foxworthy basically got the idea to do a game that's very similar to Cards Against Humanity, except just a little bit more family friendly. And he decided to make it about, relative insanity. So all the cards are basically themed about families. And people in them. So I'll give you an example of how this works. So this set comes with these very clear instructions, and it explains that each kit comes with 400 punchline cards. Those are the yellow ones, and 100 setup cards. Those are the red ones. So essentially what you would do is that people would go around the table and somebody would flip over one of these setup cards, right? So it's hard to do with one hand. So the setup cards. And then everybody else around the table gets 7 of these punchline cards, which are the yellow ones. So basically what you have to do is you have to read out the setup card, and then you have to find the punchline card that you think is the funniest one to pair with it. So for example, of these 3, and all the cards are very funny just to read by themselves. Like I'll give you an example of 3 of these setup cards. So the first one here says, during the intervention, my cousin Pete told the group. And then for here it says, during the karaoke night, my sister grabbed the microphone and shouted. And then this one here says, when my parents came home, the first thing the babysitter said to them was. So then everybody playing the game would pick up their 7 punchline cards. And then you would have to choose whichever punchline card you think is the funniest or the most appropriate to go with the specific setup. So of the 7 cards that I have here, the answers are, she is dumber than a bag of hair. He is going places like rehab and jail. I need to get my groove on. That baby is never going to amount to anything. Free bird. I have sinned and it sure was fun. And those damn squirrels are driving me crazy. So for example, for the karaoke night one, I think Free Bird, which is a very classic rock song, is very appropriate. So during the karaoke night, my sister grabbed the microphone and shouted Free Bird. And then when my parents came home, the first thing the babysitter said to them was, I think the one that says, he is going places like rehab and jail is very appropriate for this one. And during the intervention, my cousin Pete told the group, I think I have sinned and it sure was fun is very appropriate for those. So again, these are very funny, and basically because there was such a huge mix of cards, such a huge variation with 100 setup cards and 400 punchline cards, you'll never get the same combination twice. So I think that and you can play with a lot of different people, and the more people you play with, the funnier it actually is. So essentially, if I was playing with like a whole group of people, what would happen here is that you would read out one of these setup cards, and then everybody in the group would look through their 7 punchline cards, and they would pick the one that they thought was the funniest, and they would hand it out to the person who had laid down the punchline card, the setup card. And then the person who laid down the setup card would go and actually read out every single one of the punchline cards that they had received. So essentially, if you were playing with 12 people, you would read out 12 punchline cards. And then you would see whichever one elicited the biggest laugh when read along with the setup card. And then that would be the winner. So the first person to collect 5 punchline cards based on their setup card is the winner. So this game can definitely go on for a while, and that's what makes it a lot of fun. And just the fact that, you know, a lot of the answers are so funny and the setups themselves are so funny. Basically everybody will get a laugh out of this, so even if your card is not the chosen one, you kind of are a winner automatically, just because it is a lot of fun. So I do like this game. I would warn though that some of the cards, even though it's very mild, some people would still consider offensive. So if you know somebody is very overly sensitive or the kind of person that gets offended really easily, definitely do not play this game with them. But anybody that has a really good sense of humor and is, you know, the right age range, I think will enjoy this. So it's called Relative Insanity, and it retails for about $20. I think it's like $20, $24, somewhere around there. And it's a great kind of game to play around Christmas or Easter or any time that the family's gathered together. So thank you for watching, and please check back to my channel soon for more videos. Bye!